Welcome, listeners, to episode 50 of
50 bitches.
50 bitches of Cocktail Hour.
Yay!
Yay! And with us is one of our favorite authors, D. Jordan Redhawk.
Yay!
Hiya.
Hey.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Do you know, on episode 10 of Cocktail Hour, we actually talked about Tiopa Key Lakota, along with one of Catherine Friend's books. So,
I do know that. I actually listened to that one.
Did you?
I did.
Oh, sweet.
You were a little upset with me, weren't you?
I seem to remember bullshit being called on that one. Oh, anyway.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
But we had a drink on that show called the Fleur de Lis, and I'm not quite sure why we picked that one, but I seem to remember Rev thought it tasted like cough medicine and didn't care for it very much.
It's the Chambord. And I also, I know that I don't think hardly anybody knows this about that particular episode. That is my least favorite episode because there was a glitch, and we actually recorded that episode twice. Starting from the...
Was that the one?
Yes, from 11 minutes in, and it was such a great show.
It was a really, really awesome fucking show. We were so proud of it, and we realized it didn't record it. It was like, fuck, and we had to try and recreate it, and it was gone.
And I was drunk because we've been recording for an hour, and so if you listen, I went back to try and listen to it just to familiarize myself with the online version of Tiopa, and I got to maybe about 15 minutes into it, and I'm so frustrated. I just go. And Andy immediately jumps in and starts talking about it, just trying to get the show back on track. And I'm like, oh, I hate this.
That's awesome.
But that was 40 episodes ago, and that kind of shit doesn't happen anymore.
That's right.
I still get drunk, but...
Oh, God, that's awful. I guess we should mention now's a good time. Well, no, maybe not. Yeah, okay. Now is just as good any time. This is our 2nd year anniversary?
Yay. It was actually earlier this month, but this is the first... Andy's been on vacation, so, I've had guest hosts on, and I didn't want to celebrate with Megan. And, I like Megan. I love her very much, but... I didn't want to celebrate with Megan.
All right, good. Well, yay. So, yay us. Not just saying. Okay, and now the secret drink for today's show, which we've kept under wraps. So we tried to find something that kind of went along with something that Red's written, and we came up with. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Exactly. Kodiac Sled Dog.
And it's delicious. Yes. Actually, it's reminiscent of the orgasm. If you substitute vodka for whiskey, you got it. That's the drink. So it's 1 ounce of Bailey's Irish Creme, 1 ounce of your choice of Canadian whiskey, 1 ounce of Frangelico, 1 ounce of Kahlua or any of your Coffee Liqueur, 3 splashes of milk and ice, so a nice 2 handfuls of ice. And what the drink calls for is you put it in a blender, so you make it like a chocolate milkshake. But I was just lazy and didn't want to pull out the blender, so I put it in a shaker with ice and shook the hell out of it and put it in a tall glass. So. And is yours as delicious as mine? It's really good. It's really good. This is good. I'm going to have to really try to control myself, not because I made a double, and not just suck this back. So listeners, we do have a book giveaway for this one. I may make it, reminiscent of a Colette Moody show. If you can identify the moment that I become inebriated, you win. Which is also a great segue to tell you all. Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/cocktail hour. Over 100,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Again, that Addy is www.audibletrial.com/cocktail hour. Yay! Well, Andy's got a load of announcements. I have a load of announcements?
Well, you said you had some. Maybe Andy might have something to say.
Well, I kind of already said it.
Oh.
I am saving one little something, and Red probably will know what's coming when we start talking about Strange Path and a particular song that I kept hearing in my head every time I read the word whiskey. It started to get really annoying about halfway in. I'm like, Jesus, AC/DC, go away, go away.
It's right in.
I actually pulled up the lyrics for the show. I thought I might sing a tune later.
Excellent.
I'm just
we
saying.
can't have a show without without song.
I know, right?
It's important, and this is a special episode, so
right.
songs are good.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
So I understand you have a few items you would like to chat about, Rev.
Well, we pretty much covered all of them. I did want to mention that on the 26th, our community lost a great person, Roxanne, who is the CEO and founder of L Books, passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody that has had any dealings with her knows that she's just a really wonderful, gracious visionary, really.
Mm-hmm.
I was fortunate enough to have several conversations with her over the years about reviews and authors and books, and she was just a wonderfully friendly, responsive person who wanted to help the community and provide something a little different.
Yeah.
So
it was just sad. That's such a sad passing. I met Roxanne at GCLS a couple years ago, and then I saw her a year later, and we had a nice little conversation. And it's just going to be sad that she's gone from this, from this world.
Yeah. So Andy and I just wanted to acknowledge that, and well, there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, on to a happier note. Just saying.
So, we I didn't realize. Well, I guess Andy, didn't you do the intro?
Yeah,
which, by the way, I suck at.
What do you mean the intro? What are you talking about?
The introduction. The background info on the author.
Oh, the background. Oh, well, see, here's the thing. I looked up Redhawk. She's got a great website, by the way, people.
A new one, too. It's new.
Yep.
I had it up. Hold on, I'll put it back up. I was like, what the? Oh, awesome. So if you... it's still djordanredhawk.net, isn't it?
No, it's .com.
Oh, pardon me. I was looking at .net, and I still thought that was awesome. Hold on. I'm going to pull up. All right, so it's djordanredhawk.com, folks.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. Look at that.
Designed it myself.
You did? Get the hell out, really?
Yeah, I did.
I didn't know you had these kind of skills.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Well, you need to put a little bit more about yourself up there, because generally that's where I snag, information about the author, and you have like one sentence. What the hell?
What's it say?
I think there's a bio in there somewhere.
It says, about me, lesbian romance author of multiple genres, plays with knives, prefers the darkness, and rolls dice with abandon.
And wears toe shoes.
And wears toe shoes. I love those things. I will ever think of red and toe shoes synonymously. It's awesome.
So is there anything else you want to say about yourself?
Well, if you go to the news and info, there's a drop down for D. Jordan Redhawk, and that's the bio.
Oh, well, excuse me.
Gosh.
And she's smiling like a Cheshire cat, too. Oh, my God. I think, wow. And gang, you got to go. Got to go to her site. Come on, djordanredhawk.com. You got to check this out.
All right,
Lovely
I'll put a link
pictures,
in there.
all kinds of info. Oh, yeah. And
Are you going to share some of it, or are you just going to sit there and read it to yourself?
I'm looking at the crab on her head. It's kind of like it's like a train wreck. I'm like, what the hell is a crab doing on your head?
Well, I can be crabby.
Oh, okay. All right.
Better than having crabs.
Way better.
Well, she's a California girl, and she misses 60. So did I, sister.
Yeah.
I know it.
Still haven't figured it out, though. Good or bad.
You spent your teenage years dazed and confused. Very nice.
Oh, yes.
You had a high potential for a liberal or fine arts. Sorry, the alcohol's starting to set in my mouth going numb.
Already?
Yeah,
Wow.
I know. Or fine arts degree. Let's see. You grew up. What was that? After a stint in the military, you were a MP in the Army?
Yeah, I was.
Wow.
Jesus, another MP.
Yeah, we're everywhere.
Yes, so you and Roselle and Shane.
And Brenda?
Yeah, that's right, Brenda.
Brenda
yeah,
too,
I was
yeah.
a desk jockey, so.
Ah. Oh, wow. Okay, so that's it. That's all I'm giving. That's it. So people can go to the site and check it out.
All right. One thing I wanted to say is, I had only read, I read Coffee Liqueur for the show, because Andy had said, that it was one of her favorites, and I like that genre. I like the historical, especially Native American stuff. And then I did a rod loaded on my reader for the longest time, but I never got around to reading it, which I finally did. And then I was looking at, you have shitloads of fucking books.
I have lots.
You have loads of books.
Yep.
But we're not going to talk about all of those, because,
It's a 1 hour show.
it's only an hour.
Yeah.
We would love to talk about all of them, but it's only a 1 hour show, damn it.
Yeah. So, now they're all kind of different. I mean, do you have a certain theme or genre that you are more drawn to? I mean, right now you're doing the vampire thing, but are there other books in that kind of urban fantasy type thing, or what?
Oh, no. No, I don't. I tend to go all over the board. I think the only thing that I do that could be considered a theme is The Outsider. I think that theme is in all of my books. But I've got contemporary, fantasy, science fiction, horror. I got it all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I guess we can just kind of launch off into it. I have them written down, just that I wrote them down in the order. I did Teopa Lakota and then Strange Path. Andy, do you care what order we attack these in?
No, just go in the order you wrote them down. Iditarod
Awesome.
first, yeah.
Okay, great. So Iditarod is the story of Lainey Hughes, who's a photojournalist. And if I fuck this up, Redhawk, just jump in and because it's been a little while now since I read it. So you've got Lainey Hughes, who is a photojournalist who has been kind of on the spot called to go to photograph the end of the Iditarod.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes out there and kind of becomes infatuated with a young musher named Scotch Fuller. And my last name is also Fuller, so it really threw me off while reading that book. Because every time, oh shit, that's just really weird to see that written out. So Lainey becomes, like I said, infatuated with Scotch. She's just really attracted to her, and goes, when the Iditarod's over, she goes back and she's a freelancer, but she finagles a deal with a magazine. Was he a publisher or an editor?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
With this kind of almost like a maybe kind of like an outdoor sporting or National Geographic type magazine.
Yeah, that's what I was figuring it was. Yeah.
And she pitches this idea that she goes back to Alaska and actually follows Scotch through the entire training process, all the way through, her starting to the end of the Iditarod, because she's got a shot. She's young and she's good, and the magazine publisher agrees to it. And then we kind of get to the point where Lainey goes back in June, I think. Was it June that she gets there? Something like that.
Yeah, she shows up in June to start the process, because that's about the time they start training.
Yeah, and when she gets there, she's got another photojournalist in tow, and the deal has kind of changed. Lainey is actually going to be training alongside Scotch to run the Iditarod, and it's the story of really Lainey coming to grips with some of her own fears and growing a bit, and her learning more about Scotch. But for me, the best part was the dogs and learning about the Iditarod, and because there's a lot that I want to talk about with this. I had the same response that Andy had, which was what, Andy? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Andy and I talk. Normally, we don't talk about what we've read before we record, but we had a chat. Was that yesterday or that was yesterday? No,
yeah,
it was the day before.
It was just the last couple of days, yeah.
Yeah, we hadn't spoken since she came back from vacation, so we just were chatting for a while, and it came up, and Andy said, that after she got done reading it, it really made her want to go learn more about the Iditarod itself, and I had the exact same response. I have that response when I read Te Opa Ki Lakota too. So you inspire that, but
yeah, no doubt. And just a little add to that is when I went on my Alaskan cruise, one of the excursions was take the dogs out on a dog sled adventure.
Did you go?
Well, I was going to, and I said, it's in dirt and mud. No, hell no. I want to be in snow. Forget it. I didn't go.
Oh, man, I would love to go. I would absolutely love to go.
If it wasn't in snow, I wasn't doing it.
Whatever.
I'm just saying, that's what happened.
Well, so one thing that I really like about your work, specifically Iditarod and Te Opa, is the amount of research it just seemed really obvious to me that you spent a tremendous amount of time. And as a matter of fact, we were reading it together on the forum, a few of us, and one of the women posted a map for us to follow along, and that's how we would track where we were in the book. And I've heard that you've mentioned before that you're a research junkie.
Oh yeah.
So
I get into something that interests me and I obsess over it until I learn everything I can find.
Wow.
How long did it take you to write Iditarod?
Iditarod actually took about 6 months to write, but I think I was reading about the Iditarod at least 2 years prior to that, just reading about it.
Wow.
Were you reading about it with the thought that you were going to write this, or you just got into it?
Yeah, I just got into it.
Huh.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Andy, you want to talk?
No, I was just wondering if, since you really enjoyed doing all that research, then you wrote the book. I'm surprised you haven't flown your ass to Alaska and did some dog sledding. Why not? All right. Well, it could be in your future. You never know.
It could be.
Yeah.
The real stars of the show, I thought, were the dogs, like I said, and I've got a husky shepherd mix who I swear is what is it, Bonaparte?
Yeah.
I swear he's Bonaparte's long lost brother. The huskies they're a different kind of dog.
Oh yeah.
Have you had huskies or?
Oh no, I haven't had a dog since I was a kid, teenager.
Wow.
You're not very talkative.
I'm not, unfortunately.
You're making us work. I'm used to this.
Well, I figured that way we can get through all 3 books in an hour, right?
That's not.
We've got lots of time. Another thing about actually, maybe I'm going to bring up Te Opa now because there's a lot of the same types of things that I would want to talk about with that. But with Te Opa, I do want to do some comparing and contrasting with the published compared to the online version. Both of those books are very much slice of life, kind of, moving from point A to point B, but really looking at the daily details. They're not. They're page turners in the way that I want to keep going, and I want to to really get the full picture of the processes and what the characters are going through. But there's not a lot of like action. I mean, there were No, not in Teal, but in Iditarod, there were a couple of, at least a couple of scenes of Lainey, because that's who you really follow once the race starts, of Lainey going through some portions of the race that were I was like, holy shit. It was very action packed and but that wasn't the norm. That wasn't
right.
Andy, talk.
What? No, you're doing such a fabulous. Let's go right into Teopa. Let's go.
All right. Well, anyway, so I did like Iditarod. I don't really have any bullshit to call on it, except for I still would have slept with Scotch.
Way earlier, yes.
Yeah, no kidding. Ain't that the truth? And now I just realized there's a pattern here: Scotch and whiskey. We're gonna get anything, any other sturdy alcohol.
You never know.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Well, no, and I had thought that you do describe how the kids all get their names, because there was Scotch and rye, but they weren't named after boozes, were they?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they were. Because you almost have them named after.
It was either that or dogs.
Right. Okay, so other than that, I don't have any bullshit. They should have slept together. But people don't sleep together very much in the books that I've read of yours.
Well, you get a hold of Warlord Metal or on Azrael's Wings, and it'll just take care of it right there for you.
Oh, well, see, there you go. I've been reading the wrong one. Now,
awesome.
Iditarod is supposed to be coming out as a published book sometime in the future. Are there big changes? What?
Yes.
Okay, so what types of things could we expect to see different from the online version to the published?
Primarily, first I renamed it to Broken Trails, and then because I renamed it because the characters in the online version do not grow. They're not any real growth there. They're pretty solid people all the way through the book. Other than Lainey learning about the Iditarod, there's really nothing there. And so I renamed it to Broken Trails to remind myself that both the characters have to be broken. And so I broke them in the beginning and made them work through their issues. In the online version of Iditarod, it's pretty much a known that Lainey is a recovering alcoholic. And in Broken Trails, she's not recovering. She hasn't admitted it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So there's a lot more angst. There's about maybe another 5 or 6 scenes extra. There's more focus on Scotch from Scotch's point of view of having to deal with this person and with her own haunted background. So yeah, it's definitely a different book.
Yeah, it sounds like it. So does it start at the same time, and then Lainey admits it during the training?
Yes.
Oh, okay. No, I mean, I saw some growth in Lainey in that, I don't think that she really expected to hold herself to the idea that she was going to finish.
Right.
So I mean, I saw her, and then her career focus changed, and she seemed to grow in that way. Scotch really didn't seem. I mean, she was just like you said, she was pretty much there and the same solid person all the way through.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I broke them both.
So how is Scotch broken?
Something deep, dark in her past has made her very standoffish, a loner. She has to deal with that.
So in other words, buy the book and find out.
Darn right. When it comes out.
Yeah.
Right.
Awesome.
So, okay, well, let's move on into Teopa Lakota,
One of my
which
favorites.
is a story of Anpo and Kathleen, and Anpo has raised, she's a woman raised as a warrior, and again, it'll depend on which version that you read, how that's handled to some degree. And Kathleen, who is, married at 16, and to an older widower, and she is actually kidnapped by some Native Americans, and they take her off, and eventually she ends up with Anpo. Anpo has had this great vision, and which is directly related to Kathleen, and it's the story of them coming together. Anpo also growing as a warrior and finding her own place, and Kathleen finding her place within the Lakota people. And like Andy said, we talked about the online version a long time ago, and we called some bullshit on a few different things. I think and again, I haven't gone back to listen, but I think we called bullshit on the fact that they had been together for like 3 years or something like that, and hadn't had sex yet.
Yep.
And we also called bullshit on the fact that, again, they had been together for 3 years, and then Anpo gets her feelings hurt and leaves in the middle of and leaves first thing in the morning without saying anything to Kathleen, just up and gone.
Well,
but it was a little bit separated for 2 years.
Yeah, but there's a little bit deeper though with that. When they were traveling from the summer camp or the winter camp, I don't remember which, to Kathleen's parents' house, they had 3 months to find the house, and they didn't talk about how Kathleen would approach her family about who Anpo was. I was a little aggravated about that. Just saying.
Oh, right.
A lot of people were aggravated about that.
and at the time, you posted, I believe you posted a comment on the site that said, "It works in the book. Trust me, give it a shot, and you'll see." And I was lucky enough to get a copy of the book. Megan donated her personal copy, and Redhawk signed it for me, and I read it. And you're right. I think it works a lot better.
Oh.
I mean, they still go that amount of time without having sex, but it seems that that they both want it more. We'll just start out with this. While the online version, you had a lot of cultural information in there, you really bring in more in the published version, and I think that helped me to go, oh, okay, I can see that, as far as the sexual thing,
Right.
She is still nursing, and that's just not how it's done.
That's right.
And she makes one of the big things that you brought in that helped with that was you made it more common for the second wife, and you brought that up right away. In the online version, I forget her name now, and I don't have it here, but the woman that was identified in the online version as Anpo's aunt is, in the published version, her second mother, which nicely introduces the second mother idea for later on, but also to bring up the fact that there are reasons for having more than one wife. When there are children around, you don't have sex with the wife that's still nursing and stuff like that. So that was different. And while I still think that Kathleen should have pressed the issue, and Anpo didn't, I don't really think Anpo ever actually told Kathleen that I'm not having sex with you because of this, because I bet Kathleen would have cut.
I doubt it. She would have, yeah.
She would have cut Teja off like that. Said, "Yo, bub, go find something else, because these need to be being used by Anpo." All
right, we're done.
Exactly. But as far as the leaving right away, and Andy and I were talking about this the other day. I don't know if I didn't feel as bad about that because I knew what was going to happen, or if you had made some other changes that I didn't remember.
It's been so long since I actually looked at the online version versus the published. I could tell you. I know that after I had written the online version, I had found some other books that were, I'm a research junkie, so they were, there to be plundered. And I think that when I went and decided to rewrite for the next publisher, because this is when I left Renaissance Alliance and went to Jane Doe Press, I believe. That's when I decided, here's my chance. So that's when I rewrote it. And I think that the new information I had is what filled in some of the gaps that I knew people had complained about, because I've been getting emails all this time, so I knew people's complaints. So I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping that I did make it easier for people to understand where Onpo is coming from, but I do know that people were still really ticked off at Kathleen for not chasing after her, or for putting her in the position to feel that way.
Yeah, and to wait so long. I mean, I understand it was a huge journey, and she would have to find them, and and that was one thing I don't know that it was in the online version, but at one point Stuart says, well, why haven't you gone after her? And she's like, I'm a woman traveling with a mixed breed kid by myself. I don't, there's no way I would have made it. The concept of the two-spirited person, I really thought was a fantastic addition from that wasn't in the online version. It really set the stage for Onpo's elevated status within the tribe, not just within her family grouping and her camp, but throughout, and even with other tribes that weren't Lakota, the same type of Lakota as she was. That really made a big difference. Being raised as a warrior itself is a big deal, but it added so much more, and also added to the to her feeling of rejection at Kathleen's apparent shame of her. So I like that a lot. There were quite a few great additions. And also, and I'm just going to say this, Andy, and then I'll shut up for a few minutes. In the published version, I went back after I got done with it. My intent was to reread the online version completely so that I could have a better comparison when we spoke. But I had other stuff I needed to do, so I had to put it down. But what I did notice early on is that you cut out Kathleen's growing up phase and her moving with her family from Ireland to the United States. And honestly, I thought that was great. I didn't miss it at all. In the published version, I thought you did a fine job of establishing, where she came from and her family background without actually having to have all of those. The one thing that I was really upset that was missing, that I probably enjoyed the most out of the entire online version, was Onpo's preparation for the Sundance, which in the published version is really condensed into just a short amount of information given to us by Kathleen.
Right. I believe that might have fallen to point of view. When I first started writing, I would mix my point of views. I would have both Kathleen and Onpo's point of view in the same scene, and you just don't do that. That's not supposed to be. So going back through to rewrite and edit books for publication, these older manuscripts, I have to figure out exactly who is the most powerful person in this scene and whose point of view should I use. And that would thereby cut, because Kathleen wasn't there with Onpo.
Right.
She wouldn't know it, yeah.
I mean, there were because that was the one scene that made me put down my reader and get up and go hit the internet, because I wasn't. I mean, I'd heard of the Sundance, but only just the term. I had no idea what it entailed or anything like that, and that got me up, and I was looking at graphics and reading about the Sundance, and I missed that, and I kept when I read that short bit of Kathleen saying, she went through these days of preparation and the sweat lodges and things like that. I just kept hoping, like, oh, please let me turn the page and have Anpo telling me about it. It was still graphic and it was still good, and I wouldn't have missed it if I hadn't already read it. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
But yeah, I've told several people this, in a year or so when I'm ready to read it again, I'll absolutely pick up the published version because it was better. As you would expect it to be. But so I retract my full bullshits and give. I'm only going to give half bullshits.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So I have a question for Red.
Yes.
Have you tried pemmican?
No, I have not.
It sounds interesting, although the whole thing with the lard kind of grosses me out. But meat and berries and fruits, that sounds kind of yummy.
Yeah, I thought it would be.
Yeah, I looked at I did a Google image search, and there's as many varieties of color and things in pemmican that you can imagine.
I know. I've looked at recipes myself.
I don't know what that is. I saw it in there, and I moved on over.
Well, it's like the Native American version of today's energy bars.
Yeah.
Oh.
They would combine the protein of the meat, whatever they had, and berries and fruits, and then they would put it all together with animal fat.
Kind of like traveling jerky.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. And I completely forgot about pemmican until I read that book. I knew about it years ago, but I completely forgot. And I read it, it's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So, yeah, that was kind of, then of course I had to go look at it. And of course it's not a scratch and sniff, so I didn't get to smell or nothing. But I got to look at it, it was kind of cool. Yeah.
Maybe you should make some.
Oh, no. No, fat's not in my diet. Well, I'm trying to keep the fat reduced in my diet. So,
maybe you could do some clever substitution.
I'd rather do something else.
Oh, well,
yeah.
fine then.
Well, you never know. You don't know what the future holds. I don't know.
Yeah. Did you want to say anything else about Teopa, Andy?
No, it's just one of those stories, and I have the published version. I have it in book form, believe it or not. It's sitting in my library, but the one I turn to the most because it's the most dense is the online version, and I just read it probably once a year. Ever since I found it back in, I don't know, I think I found fan fiction and those sites that house even original fiction back in 2005. So I've read it every.
You're a youngster.
I know. I came really late to the party, damn it. Really. So, Whoosh was already taken down. I came late. But it's ever since I read it, it's one of my top 10 that I read every year. Yep.
Well, before we start talking about your new series, I want to let our listeners know about our Audible deal. So, for you, the listeners of Cocktail Hour, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. Listeners of our podcast may enjoy downloading Kim Baldwin's Breaking the Ice, because she was just on not that long ago, and I think you guys talked about this one. Or Bittersweet by Nevada Barr, which is one of my personal favorites. And I know it's a little sad.
It is bittersweet. It's the most aptly titled book ever.
It is. And I actually did listen to the audiobook just a few months ago, and I thought it was really well done.
Oh, good.
And Andy and I disagree on this one, but I just found it today, and I'm super excited, and I'm going to buy it with my next credit.
What?
The Case of the Not-So-Nice Nurse, a Nancy Clue and Cherry Aimless Mystery by Mabel Manny.
No.
They've got a few of Mabel Manny's out there. If you like, it's a parody of Nancy Drew.
Oh, God. Oh, I need to send you that book I have.
You do, yes. I thought it was great. I read the first couple. Andy, I did not like them at all.
At all. I stopped in after page 10. Page 10.
Oh,
I got farther in Gone Girl.
Oh, well, we're not. And Gone Girl is also available.
What a good lead-in.
Because I got my copy of Gone Girl from Audible. To download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/cocktail hour. Again, that's audibletrial.com/cocktail hour for your free audiobook.
And I'm signing up this weekend, people, so come on. Smile on your brother, everybody. No, okay.
Oh, that wasn't the song. Speaking of that, Redhawk's got the series that she's working on now is a vampire series, and I just finished the first one today. I finished it earlier this morning, called Strange Path, and then the second one is Beloved Lady Mistress, and the new one coming out in just about 2 weeks, Inner Sanctuary.
Inner Sanctuary, yeah.
I got to tell you guys how clueless I am. I read this Strange Path book 1 probably about 3.5 to 4 weeks ago. Now, that was wrong of me to do because I can't remember shit. But I was so excited to read it because I was like, oh, yay, it's Redhawk. I'm so excited. So, boom, I started reading it. And then I thought, oh, my poor pitiful brain, I'm going to have to go. Let me go on Amazon real quick and sneak and read the synopsis. Now we're bring everything back. And it did. I was like, oh, thank God. And then as I'm looking up D. Jordan Redhawk on Amazon, up popped the other two, and I went, motherfucker, I didn't even realize the other two were out. I've been waiting. I'm like, oh, again, when's the sequel coming out? When's the second one coming out? When's the second and third one are already out?
Yeah,
I'm like, damn it! I'm going to have to go buy them now. That is so wrong. Seriously, it's wrong.
Yeah. Well, Strange Path is, it follows another boozy person named Whiskey. She's 18 years old, living on the streets, orphan. And the book, I'm just going to say this right out. One thing about your books is they grab me immediately. Mm-hmm. You know, the first set or two, I am there. I like your characters. They're engaging and all of that. So,
that's good.
So Strange Path starts out with Whiskey has been abducted by these guys, and they've already beaten her up a bit, and they've hauled her out. She's in the trunk of the car. They haul her out someplace, and they're going to do horrible, horrible, nasty things to her. And they're telling her all of the horrible, horrible, nasty things they're going to do to her. And then she sees like some eyes flashing behind them, and lo and behold, here comes the super. Super Fiona with her pack of
miscreants.
At this point, they're Whiskey's saviors, and they beat the hell out of these guys and save Whiskey and tell her, we're going to take you off to safety and stuff like that. Now, I do have to admit there was a lot more sex in this than I was expecting. Just based off of Iditarod and Teopa, and she has sex right away. So there's that.
She likes to keep you guessing when it's coming out.
Yeah,
I do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and Fiona and Cora. Cora's the other woman, and they're like gothy people and Mohawky people and those Pacific West Coast freaky people. Portland or Seattle. They're in Seattle.
Yeah, they're in Seattle in that one.
So they see something in Whiskey, and they're referring to her in these different in non-English words, and it becomes very apparent that they think there's something very special about her, and they want to take care of her and keep her with them. And Whiskey is. She is suspicious of everyone and not trusting, and she's been on her own for a long time. She's been in the system, a bit, and come to find out that she's a vampire. And they want to. Fiona's group wants to kind of lead her through, her awakening and things like that. But Whiskey has other ideas.
Mm-hmm. Yes, she does.
Mm-hmm.
So we can just
we don't want to give too much away.
Yeah,
I know.
But all that stuff comes up very, very, very early in the book, so I don't feel bad about any of that.
Okay, good.
Not to mention, the Strange Path has been out for a long time. There's, another one too.
Yeah, rub it in.
At least, yeah. God, you're slow, Andy.
I know,
slow.
right? That's so wrong. Okay,
she's busy. She's reading a lot.
Oh, God.
Stuff. I got you, Andy. Don't worry,
Thanks,
honey.
darling. Thanks. I appreciate that. And let me start right off the bat by saying, and Redhawk knows this, but I don't know that our listeners do. When I cracked open the book and I was all excited, started reading it, and I see the protagonist's name of Whiskey. The first damn thing that runs through my head is that AC/DC song, Have a Drink on Me. And every time I saw the name Whiskey, I hear, my glass is getting shorter on whiskey, ice, and water. I'm like, oh, God. Every time I saw the name, I was like, oh, my God, AC/DC, get out of my head. Please, oh, for the love of all that's holy. I'm like, I'm going to get her for that. I'm just going to get her for that. So, yeah. So it took me about halfway through the book before that stopped happening.
Well, at least it stopped. That's good.
Did. Thank you. Whew. I almost couldn't stand it. So, anyway. But, yeah, so that's what I'll always think of when I think of this trilogy is, yeah, that damn AC/DC song. So, anyway. So tell us what inspired you to write this story? What were your inspirations?
Oh gosh, dipped if I know.
Oh, all right then.
I don't know. I mean, I've always been interested in vampires and immortality, and I guess Queen of the Damned, the movie Queen of the Damned, got me the idea to actually write it.
Oh, that's
such
awesome
a
movie.
shitty movie.
Oh no, it's an awesome movie.
I know, but that night I had a dream, and that dream created one of the characters in the book.
Which one?
Belmont.
Okay.
So you've read the book one. You know what her first view of Belmont was.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
And that's exactly the scene from my dream.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So and that's what inspired me to start looking into writing a book like this.
No, I'm certain that we're going to see much more of Valmont in the second book.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be, Whiskey is she's not, to me, she was not a likable character. I found
she's a street kid, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and she's young.
Mm-hmm.
She's young and she's not making very good choices.
Yeah, that's true. That drove me nuts.
Yeah.
And I liked some of the other characters a lot more, and I wanted to know more about some of the other characters. So I'm hoping. This is the first in. Are there going to be more, or is it just a trilogy?
There's actually. I just started book 4.
No.
Started writing book 4 recently. So
awesome.
Okay. So I mean, as a foundation laying book. Absolutely, because I want to know more about the other characters, and I'll, by the time the book ended, I do want to know, where Whiskey takes things, because she's had some enlightenment, and she's got some good people on her side, and and I think she's come through it good and I've been hanging out with some British people who are really, really fucking harsh on grammar, and so I catch myself working harder when I speak. But yeah, I wasn't able to really connect with Whiskey.
she's kind of difficult. I know that some people do have trouble with it.
Yeah.
And yes, in book 2, you will see more of the other characters. She will still be making some pretty poor decisions, but she will finally get over her bad self.
But she's about 18 in the book, isn't she? She's really young.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's really young, and the character that really comes up at the very end of the book, that's what I want to know much more about her.
And she opens book 2.
Okay, and you leave it that way. So I mean, I can see it going, boom, boom, boom.
How's that go?
Boom, boom, boom. One thing that I did want to ask you, you allude to another, Native American traditions in there also, just briefly. So I'm going to also assume that that's going to come in at some later point also?
Yes.
Okay, great. And then you like to use, at least in Teopa and then in Strange Pass, non-English languages.
Yes, I do. I love language.
Where does the Sanguire language come from? I mean, I know that there was some Gaelic in there and stuff like that, but where are you getting that?
That's actually ancient Sumerian.
Really?
Oh, well, yeah, and that's right, because he does say that.
Yeah.
But there's also, but you do use some Gaelic in there, and so the ancient Sumerian, how much research did you do to come up with this?
Not a lot. I found some place online that had some guy was doing a thesis on it, and he put basically a word list and pronunciation chart in a full file, and that I stole from him.
I think
I basically based the entire language on that.
Okay. The only issues I had with the language was the Spanish. There were a couple of things that didn't actually translate properly, but there were only a couple, and I just don't feel good unless I can call bullshit on something. So that's
That's fine. Go ahead.
all right then.
I don't speak Spanish, so there you are.
Yeah, yeah. So there were just two, but
That was it? Just two?
just two. Well, there's not a lot of Spanish in there, but it was like mucha dinero, and it would have been mucho dinero, and then mi Dios, and that's really common. You see that a lot. It's actually Dios mío.
Dios mío.
Yeah, because the possessives come after.
Right.
Well, damn, look at you.
I took a lot of Spanish,
Ah.
but anyway, and I don't think most people would pick up on that anyway. But that's not bad for really the only bullshit that I can call.
I think that's pretty light.
Hey, I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. But I really like the language, the ancient Sumerian, and I didn't realize that there was a glossary in the back of the ebook until I did a search, because in the ebooks you can highlight a term and then do search in the book, and I highlighted a term and I was like, oh motherfucker, there's a goddamn glossary back here. So,
Well, you had one in Teopa, as I recall, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
there was, yeah. But I mean, for a first book in a series, you introduce the characters really well. There's a lot of the visions that Whiskey has, and her and the way that you've the way that you've unveiled Elizabeth to our entire perception of who she was completely changes from the beginning of the book to the end of the book.
Does it?
And it did for me. It did for me. I mean, I know that she was, a cold-blooded killing bitch, but I thought that I didn't expect. I don't want to say too much.
Some kind of compassion. To understand where it came from.
Yeah, I thought she would have some redeeming qualities.
Didn't find many of those.
No, and that was something that I was surprised by. I am looking forward to seeing how Whiskey handles the Cora problem.
And it's kind of messy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well,
probably literally messy.
Yep. And I'll be getting book 2 and 3 probably this weekend. Just saying.
Book 3's not out yet.
It's not?
No?
I thought it was out.
The 16th, I think, is the release date.
Yeah, you got a couple of weeks for that.
What? I can wait a couple of weeks? What the hell?
But you have others.
People too slow.
Ugh.
Well, no, you have other books that need to be read. So, this Cocktail Hour is a constant thing. We got to keep going, So you can read book 2, read the book for our next guest, and then you'll be right on time for book 3.
Ay. Well, I gotta say, I really enjoyed it, though, even though the main character, in many respects, made me just want to smack the hell out of you, just do a bitch slap every 5 minutes. But I still enjoyed it, It was still an interesting cast of characters, interesting situations. I like how you put a whole new slant on the vampirism, which was really refreshing. So thank you for steering us away from the classic versions. And,
Always glad to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the they're not bite induced conversions.
Nope.
And that was nice.
Yeah.
That was nice.
So yeah, I'm really happy you did it. I can't wait to read book 2, and apparently I'll have to wait a couple of weeks to read book 3, and get busy on finish up book 4. Hurry the hell up! No.
I did want to say that I like that that you have a priest, a vampire priest.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Because it really it makes us take that turn away from any type of evil vampire, devil, yada yada, demonish.
Stay away from garlic and holy water.
Right.
And
Yeah. And while you do, whiskey is sensitive to the light. It's not something that's debilitating. And one thing that it seemed to take her a while to figure out that eventually she was going to have to drink some blood.
Yeah, you just don't think that. I mean, she hasn't up to now, right?
I mean, yeah, she has.
Yeah, she did.
Oh,
the first book.
That was an accident.
No. She
didn't mean to.
The third meditation after that she did.
All right, we're giving too much away over here, you people. We don't want to give too much away now. Come on.
Yeah. But I mean, see, for me, I would have been like, oh fuck, I'm a vampire. I gotta drink some blood.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Considering the strengths that you get from being a vampire, I'd have been getting that blood the first day. Wait, what? Give me that. Pour it in that carafe. Yeah, give me that.
But y'all also got to figure that vampire was never used in the entire book. I've never used that term.
That's true.
It's always sanguire.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely. Yeah, she did.
She might be saying things like, "What are you guys, vampires?" Or do they think they're vampires? But they never say they're vampires. They say they're sanguire.
Oh,
and so is she.
Mm-hmm.
That's true because she does bring up vampire like almost immediately in that first scene, like, oh shit, these people think they're vampires.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I like it.
I enjoyed it.
Good.
Yep, I enjoyed it very much. Very much.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, anybody have any more to add to that?
Not beside, if you like vampire books and and series see, now this would be the moment, I think. So note the time.
Note the time, people. So basically, get your ass on the computer and buy these books. You will not go wrong. You will not go wrong. You want give the author some money. Sit back and be enraptured for a few hours. It's a win-win.
Yeah, and there's cool tattoos and piercings and whatnot.
Exactly.
And leather
and whatnot.
Yeah, a lot of leather and spikes and stuff like
mohawks
that.
and all kinds of goodies.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so I kind of forced Redhawk into agreeing to a book giveaway.
Yeah, my arm is still sore.
She did. Mm-hmm.
I did. So, not many people know this, but Redhawk and I lived across the street from each other, just like a decade apart. So she lived across the street from the house that my wife and I would buy 10 years later.
Wow.
So that's pretty fucking neat.
That's the Twilight Zone kind of shit.
But the conversation that we had while figuring it out, I think, was fantastic. It's like, oh, you used to live in Idaho? Yeah, I used to live in Idaho, too. I used to live in Meridian. No way! I lived in Meridian. I lived on Camellia. Oh, my God! I lived on Camellia.
That's too funny.
It was very cool. So
Anyway,
so I felt comfortable with doing a little arm twisting, and Redhawk has agreed to not one, not two, but 3 paperback books, her Sanguine series books, Strange Path, Beloved Lady Mistress, and Inner Sanctuary, for one lucky listener of the podcast. So all you have to do is go over to cocktailhour.us and post a comment. Let's make somebody post something. What should we make them post about? Like their favorite genre of book,
Well, which book they like the most?
or how about you need to post a show idea.
No. Nah. Let's get them to talk about Redhawk's work. Let's see what they liked.
All right. Well, if you've read something of Redhawk, what's your favorite? And if you haven't, why?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, pony up that excuse. We want to hear that.
All right, I need to write that down. Okay, favorite Redhawk, or why you haven't read any.
Exactly.
Why not read? Okay, and then so the winner will receive a set of the 3 books so far in the series, sent to you by Redhawk. And just so you know, she doesn't have these books laying around, so she's got to go buy them.
That's right. She got to buy her own damn books for you.
That's right. Just an added bonus because we love you.
That's right.
We love you. It's our anniversary. We love you so much. We are going to force an author to. And I have one bitch. I just need to say, we brought this up a while ago, and you people are proving Andy right that you will not submit ideas for a best of. What was the idea I had, Andy?
No, they were going to pick 2 stories for us to read for
that's
New
right,
Year's.
listener's choice.
The listener's choice, yeah.
Okay, well, if you guys don't step up and submit some choices, we're going to pick the crappiest books we can find.
I've already read one of them a couple of days ago.
I hope that wasn't mine.
No.
No, it wasn't one.
It wasn't one of yours. I told Rev about it.
So that's what we need you to do. So submit some fucking requests for the goddamn listener's choice, and then also tell us what your favorite Redhawk book is, and if you don't have one, why?
Yeah,
why
there you go.
not?
I like that.
And then the winner will get the 3 books.
Yep.
All right.
Personally autographed.
Personally, wow.
Yeah.
Because we love you so much.
That's right.
Gosh.
Okay, right. And since we're talking about love, it kind of goes along with who would you fuck?
Okay.
It was an easy segue. I'm just saying.
It was.
Just easy. Nah, like me, it's Sunday morning. Easy like Sunday morning.
All right, who's going first?
I don't know. Who wants to go first? Red, you want to go first?
I'm going to say Marguerite.
Oh. Which we don't know that much about yet.
But you will in book 2.
Nice, which I'm buying tonight.
I'm a sucker for English accents. What can I say?
Oh, yeah, you mean both.
Or Irish in this case.
Yeah. Okay. Andy, you go next. I'm still thinking.
Kathleen.
Oh, damn it. Andy and I are going to have a 3-way with Kathleen. And
people are so squeamish about me writing a second wife. I don't get it.
Well, why would you want a second wife? There's so many other adventures. You don't have to have a second wife adventure. Come on now. Jeez, you're the writer. You can come up with something good. We count on you for that. So you could do
Kathleen too, because I'm a sucker for some accents.
Rev, you could do Kathleen's mom. You know how you like the moms.
Bitch. No, I don't know.
She was a mother.
Okay, she was a mother, all right.
Take Kathleen and her mom.
That's a matching set.
But not at the same time because they're.
That would be too squeaky. Yeah.
Yeah, that's too gross.
I just can't do that.
This is no.
Yeah.
No.
Well, thanks, Redhawk, for coming on the show.
Yep. Thank you for having me over.
So, all right. Well, shit, Andy, what do we got coming up next?
We have coming up next, and I'm looking it up because, I was going to pull it up earlier and I didn't.
No, it is.
I'm looking because, I don't want to mess it up. Good Lord, I don't want to mess it up. It will be Rachel Spangler.
Ooh.
With her new one, I think it's called Spanish Heart.
Sounds right, I got to look it up.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yep.
And now that one comes out. I believe, on the same day as Inner Sanctuary.
Yeah. Rock
Who the
on.
hell are you? Who are you publishing with now?
I'm going with Bella Books.
Bella. Okay. Yeah. All right. So, excellent. Okay. Well, there you go.
Yay. So we'll have Wonder Boy on, and all will be right with the world.
And then we have after that, and I'm just going to say it because I'm really, really excited, and I want to hear you fuck up her name.
Oh, no, you didn't. Yeah, after Rachel Spangler, we are having Anne McMahon.
Ooh, yay!
Yay!
Earlier, or last night, it was Anne McCann.
It was. I can't stop. And I did it in front of her face, too, which makes it worse.
She was on our show last November, and Andy's like, and joining us tonight is Anne McCann. Anne and I are both going, McMahon.
Yeah, it was just bad. It was bad. I think I was really heavily drinking then. I don't know.
No, we had just started.
Oh, damn! I can't even use that? Crap.
That's Andy's story. Just stick
Oh,
to it.
I'm sticking to it.
Okay, I'm sorry. You're my partner. I need to cover for you. She was blasted. Just blasted.
Oh, God. And then
It
we
was
have...
embarrassing.
And then we have Super Pretty on after that.
Huh?
And then Super Pretty is going to be on after that.
Oh, that's. I haven't read her book yet.
I
That's
haven't
right.
either. Yeah, I haven't either.
Melissa Braden. For
Yeah.
all of you who don't know who Super Pretty is.
Yeah, Wonder Boy, who is also known as Rachel Spangler, has tagged Melissa Braden with the moniker of Super Pretty. Who, Super Pretty was my purchased author for the awards ceremony after party.
That just sounds wrong.
I know, doesn't it? I paid good money to have her by my side that night.
And we love you anyway, Andy.
I know, right? Well, just saying. I
You
won't
looked
even.
very nice together, you and Super Pretty.
We did, didn't we? We're like hot. Just saying.
Yeah, I heard the angels.
I heard the heavenly choir. That's all I'm saying. And I won't, yeah.
Well, Redhawk, I guess we've tortured you enough. We've invited you on, called bullshit on you, beat you out of some books, but next time you want to come on, you just let us know.
I will be right there.
Excellent. And you know what? I didn't hear any coughing or wheezing.
That's because I can turn my microphone off.
Oh, you're really good with the mute button.
Yeah,
Thank
she
you.
is. Damn.
You should put that on your website under your bio.
Yep.
Then I'm good with the mute button?
Yep.
Absolutely.
I'll do that.
Cocktail Hour says she has mad skills.
Excellent. And keep us in mind for another book if you want to feature some awesome podcasters in one of your books.
Hell yeah.
I will.
Excellent.
All right. Well, thank you both. We've had a great anniversary episode. I don't think it could have been better.
No.
No, don't think it could have. Mm-mm. Well, unless we all won the lottery. But that's all. That
would have been fantastic.
Yeah, that would have been
And
fantastic.
we could do more shows.
That's true. Yep.
And hey, if you have a business and you want to sponsor us, let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
Because then we can retire on sponsorships and give you more of what you want.
Exactly. Or more of you don't want.
Yeah, so make sure you submit for the Choice Awards, damn it.
Yep. And be sure to make your comments for Redhawk to be eligible for her trilogy or her 3 books.
Oh, and sorry, you need to have your post your comments by October 13th. October 12th. Mm-hmm. And we will announce the winner on the next show, which we will be recording on the 13th. So you need to have your comments posted by October 12th.
Yep. Excellent. Yep.
All right, then.
All right. Well, thank you both again. It's been a lot of fun.
Yay.
Bye so long.
Goodbye.